Hey, everybody. Welcome to Monday at noon Eastern Time, which means it's time for Live with Kevin. And I'm here on Martin Luther King Day. So I know that some of you, if you're watching, you might not be at work, which of course leads to a couple of questions like, why are you on LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube when you could be on a day off? Excuse me, that could lead to questions in and of itself. But seriously, I'm glad that you're here. And if you're watching later, of course, I'm glad that you're here. As you join me today, I hope that you will share. Let's do this. If you're here, just put in a comment where you're at today. I should be able to see that in all of the various platforms. Tell me where you're watching from. I'm right here in my office in Indianapolis, Indiana, in our office house that we call Remarkable House, that mostly is just the place that I come today where no one else is here. Because like most all of you, I'm on, and in my case, leading a remote team as well. So as you're here, just put in the chat or in the comments where you're from, where you're listening from. Would love to have you do that. I've got several things I want to do today. But one of the things I was really share 3 thoughts with you on a Monday about remote work. But I'd love to answer your questions. So as you're here, what questions do you have as it relates in the New Hampshire home office? Welcome, Suzanne, from California at home. Welcome, Patience. I'm glad that you're both here. I'm here wanting to answer any questions that you all have about remote work, remote leadership. Most of us have been doing it for some period of time. Veronica, welcome from Paris. It's not Martin Luther King Day for you. It's also not noon for you. So glad that you're here. Hi, Brett. You're at the gym. Well, there you go. Glad that you're here as well. So I would really love to know, now that most all of us have been in this mode for a number of months, right? We've been in this working from home situation for a number of months. What are the questions that you have now? I had someone a while back tell me, well, by now people have got this figured out, don't they, Kevin? Are they really going to need you to talk about this anymore? I'm like, well, no, because people didn't have work and teamwork and leadership figured out before, and maybe they got by. And that's where I think a lot of people are now with working remotely, is they're getting by. And so my question for you is, what do you need to know to help you get to that next level? What do you need to know to be more successful? What do you need to do or know to help you get past survive and move toward thrive? So I'd love to have your thoughts and questions about that. And as I said, I'm going to share several thoughts that I'm having on a Monday morning with you. I will say that today's episode is brought to you by, you see it up there in the corner, The Long Distance Teammate, our brand new book. Stay engaged and connected while working anywhere. The book comes out tomorrow. It's officially released tomorrow, but of course you can pre-order your copy now wherever you buy books. And let me just put that link up there, and you can go there to learn everything you want to know about the book, see a short book trailer for it. You know, they have trailers for movies. Why shouldn't we have trailers for books? So feel free to take a look there, and feel free to ask your questions that you have, either about what you brought with you or what you think about as I'm chatting. So I have 3 thoughts for you today that I want to share with you. And the first of those is about the need for us to stay positive. I got 3 things that I want you to stay today. First one is stay positive. Wherever we live, whether we're in Paris, France, or we're in New Hampshire, or we're in Indianapolis, or wherever we are, the reality is that there are plenty of things that could bring down our energy, bring down our attitude, make us less positive, perhaps more cynical, perhaps worried, perhaps anxious. And I would say that we can acknowledge those things, but we can work on staying positive. And I would encourage you to think about this. If you're really struggling, hello, Lucas from Brazil. And that's not Brazil, Indiana, as it turns out, which exists, by the way, if you're wondering. But if you're having trouble staying positive. You're saying, but Kevin, there's all this stuff going on. But Kevin, how do I stay positive in the midst of all this? And I would say that perhaps working from home in this time is not helping us, because while some workplaces had a television, most homes do, and many people have their TV on while they're working, or every time they stop working, they turn their TV on. And if you're turning that TV on to pick your favorite news channel, it's not likely making you more positive. And if you're spending your free time scrolling on this device, whatever yours looks like, and you're scrolling through your news feed, or you're scrolling through a social media channel, that's probably not helping you stay positive either. I can tell you that I would like to think that I'm more optimistic and positive than most people and many people, but I can tell you that since I largely gave up news at about the time of our election, that it's been easier for me to be positive. That it's been, yes, that is near my hometown. Dan, welcome. Glad to see you. That it is easier to be positive when we're choosing to put different things in our mind. So my first thought for you on a Monday morning in January of 2021, believe it or not, is to stay positive. And I think that when we stay positive, we help ourselves. Of course, we help our teammates and the teams that we lead as well. So I encourage you to think about staying positive. The second stay of the day is I encourage you to stay connected. So in this book that releases tomorrow, The Long Distance Teammate, in the subtitle, it says stay engaged and connected. And so I'm not saying it necessarily because that's an important part of the book. I'm saying it because that I think right now we need to stay connected. And so if we're working remotely and we're not feeling all that connected, we can lament that fact or we can take action on it. And my encouragement to you is to take action on it. My encouragement to you is to say, what can I do to stay connected, to plug in, to connect with others? And I will say this, that if you are feeling disconnected, so are others on your team. And so by taking the chance to be the one that reaches out to connect, both people win. I've been writing a lot about and thinking a lot about and reading a lot about the issues of loneliness and isolation that we're facing in our world today that have been exacerbated greatly in the last 10 months from a pandemic, a little longer perhaps for Veronica, who's in Paris, where their lockdown has started a little earlier than ours did here in the US. But the reality is that we were already having issues with people being lonesome or lonely and isolation before all of this. And so I've been spending time thinking about this, thinking about what I could do to help and what I could do to encourage people. And it's, again, I've done some writing about this, but I would just say this to you, that if you're feeling a little bit lonely and isolated, you're not alone. And so one of the ways to change that is to become more focused on others. And one of the ways to do that is to reach out and connect. And I think that, certainly we can get on Zoom or Skype for Business or whatever, FaceTime, whatever tools you're using personally or professionally to do that. Certainly you can do that by sending people a quick email. And don't forget the power of the phone. I like to keep the phone as far away from me as I can when I don't need it, but as a prop, it's right here. So, don't forget the power of picking up the phone and giving someone a call, because chances are when you reach out to connect with them, you're going to win. So will they. And I encourage you to do that. That's part of what it means to be a teammate. This book is called The Long Distance Teammate. It's not called The Long Distance Team Member. There's a difference between being a member of a team and being a teammate. And both of those are significantly different from just working from home. So I don't want you to feel like you're just working from home, but that, hey, I'm a member of a team, but more importantly, I'm a teammate. I can reach out to others to check in, to be helpful. And that's the other word that I wrote down today that I wanted to share with you, is that we need to be helpful. If we would all focus on the question of how could we be more helpful to each other and to the team and to the organization, I think we'll make good choices in the coming days. How can we be more helpful? Perhaps that's the choice or the question I'll leave you with. But I said 3 things I want to talk to you about today: staying positive, staying connected, and the third one is staying purposeful. I just read a couple of minutes ago something about the 17th of January being the end of New Year's resolutions day, or something that by the 17th, most people have dropped their resolutions. And I'm not going to talk to you about New Year's resolutions, but what I want to talk to you about is this. I want to talk to you about the fact that when we get at the start of the year, oftentimes we're very clear on where we're headed. We're very clear on our purpose. And we want to, as a member of a team, as a teammate, to be focused on where we're trying to go. But we often lose that focus. And the longer that we're working in our own space, the more likely it is that we will become more insular and internally focused. And the best way that we can help ourselves, and the best way that we can be a remote teammate, is to remain purposeful, to see the big picture, to have our eye on the prize of where we're heading, both collectively and individually. And hello, Erica Lawler, how are you? I am passionate about this need that we have to stay purposeful. As a leader of a team, I want my team to know where we're headed, to have the big picture in mind. I must keep that big picture in mind. But that isn't just a comment about being a leader. That's a comment for all of us. And that if we, in a place that wasn't designed to work, called our house, if it's like we have to recognize the need to continue to see where we're really going. Sorry for that. Man, looks like I had a bit of a blip there for a minute. We need to recognize where we're going, and we need to keep our eyes lifted and seeing that destination. That isn't just a task that belongs to our leaders. That's a task that's ours and all of ours. And we help ourselves, and we help our teams, and we help our leader, and we help our organizations when we do that. So today I wanted to spend a few minutes talking to you about those 3 things. And if you've joined us late, here are the 3 things that I've challenged you to think about today. First of all, to stay positive. Second, to stay connected. And third, to stay purposeful. And if you'll do those 3 things, you'll be on your path to not only being healthier and more productive yourself, more engaged in your work, but being a better teammate at a distance. And so, as you can see there in the corner, I've been talking, although not about things specifically in the book, about the ideas of the long distance teammate, how to be an effective long distance teammate. And this new book comes out tomorrow. You can go to longdistanceteammate.com to pre-order your copy. If you're watching live, or today, if you're watching later, you can order your copy. And when you do, when you start at longdistanceteammate.com, of course, order it from wherever you would prefer. But when you go there, you'll see how you can get some special bonuses when you order your copy. So if you order 1 copy, you're going to get access to a brand new webinar. You're going to get some other great stuff. We've taken several of the big tactics from the book and created these very nice, what we've called actionable infographics, to help summarize and pull out some really key ideas. So you'll get a copy of that. You'll get this access to this webinar that's coming up, as well as a subscription to our weekly newsletter, Remote Work Resources. You get all of that when you pre-order your book. Now, the more books you buy, the more things you get. And the more, as you buy for a team or for more folks, you get some really cool additional stuff. You get all those things for everybody, but you get a bunch more stuff as well. All those details are at longdistanceteammate.com. If you found this useful, if you're thinking about how you create more effectiveness for yourself and for your team when you're all working remotely, this book is for you. And hopefully this session or this short live was for you. I wish you great success today as you stay positive, stay connected, and stay purposeful. And I hope that you will, throughout this day, be remarkable, because that's what we always hope that you will be. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for letting us know where you're from. And I'll be back tomorrow with a launch day live. And so if you have questions, come back tomorrow, noon, all these same locations. I'll be here, and I look forward to seeing you then. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.